welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing great. As you can tell from the thumbnail and the title down below, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a first impressions and flip through of the America's History 1776 through 1791 from the Tuttle twins. I already did a complete flip through of the first one in this series, and I'll have that link down below if you do want to go look at that to get a kind of a look at what it looks like when it comes to going from this to this. So I'm going to grab the camera, we're going to turn it around, and we're going to take a look at America's history from 1776 through 1791. All right, so I am so excited to dive into America's history for 1776 through 1791 with my kiddos. We ended up completing the entire first book of the America's history, and it went from 1215 to 1776. This was a beautifully, beautifully done book. I will have the video that I did on this and the flip through I did linked down below if you do want to see a look at this one before we jump into this one. That way you get an idea of what is in volume 1 before jumping into volume 2 here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and open up. This is also going to be a little bit of a first impressions because I wanted to open this with you guys as a first time and kind of walk through it. So just as a disclaimer and as a heads up, this is my first time opening it. So I can't even give you guys a full review. We're just going to be flipping through it and learning about what's inside of this together. This is done just like the first volume where you follow the brother and sister and then Fred, and then they go on their adventures of learning together. Again, I love how this is such an interactive and engaging story. This is not at all like a textbook where you're going to see just like a paragraph, a statement of a date or a statement of an event. It is very engaging, and this is why even though my kiddos are in 1st and 2nd grade, when they were in 1st and 2nd grade, we did the first volume of American history. They loved it because it was so engaging, and they're going to be coming up on the 2nd grade and 3rd grade in the fall here, so this will be right up their alley, and they're going to probably enjoy this even more than they did that first volume, even though they learned a lot in the first volume and they really enjoyed it. It's just going to be definitely something that they're going to look forward to. As I mentioned before, have not done a formal history curriculum for my kiddos. So this is why having a history book where we're going to cover like the timeline of history, just like a textbook would, but we're going to do it again in a really fun and engaging way. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to flip through here and stop when we get to like the bigger chapters.
Recall when we were young, running from all things at once, without thinking twice. And I knew it would catch up, and that we would be the ones left behind. The stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. This road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time. Time is gone and I grew up. I somehow made it through without losing sight. And I still wonder where you are, and if you found a way out from the dark. The stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. And this road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time. Bruises, they come and they go, and we have to try and keep up, 'cause this life's so much more.
thing that I love about this book in particular, well, and volume 1, but that's the Let's Talk About It section. This is a great way to introduce critical thinking skills to your kids as you read, and it's also a great way to make sure they're comprehending what's being talked about as you dive deeper into the topic. So I love that they include that as well. Again, they included that in the first volume. So more about us. All right. And then in the back, you're going to go through the 17 amendments and all that entails. And again, one of the main themes from Tuttle Twins is those who don't learn from the past are condemned to repeat it. So I love that, and I am really looking forward to doing this. I'm going to officially start doing this as a read aloud starting probably in August when we do a back to school type thing. And then of course I'll have the first flip through link down below. I also ordered 4 of the actual just Tuttle Twins books when it comes to specific things that we wanted to learn about. So we have the law, we have the miraculous pencil, which is learning about kind of competition, trade, and the free market. We're reading right now the 12 Rules Bootcamp. We're almost all the way through this. Love this book. It is great. We've really been enjoying this one. And then the 4th one I picked up was the Golden Rule. So this one, and then these 3 I have not read yet, so I can't give you feedback on them yet, but this one has been really, really good. So those are all of the Tuttle Twins type books that we have right now. Let me go grab my phone real quick, and I want to show you the printables that come with that volume 2 of the history. So with the purchase of any of the textbooks, you also get access to a bunch of free videos as well as the companion curriculum. So I wanted to show you a little bit of what the companion curriculum looks like specifically for the flip through that we just did. This is what's really going to make the textbook or the read aloud become an actual formal curriculum. Again, we're not going to do this yet because it's a slightly above that 1st and 2nd grade level. Now my kiddos could definitely do these things when we get to like that 2nd and 3rd grade, but it's just not something that we're going to do right now as far as a history credit. We're just doing it as a read aloud. But this is an option for you to print out and make it a full hands-on, interactive, more engaging curriculum. So we have community service, create your own nation. So you can write, imagine founding a new nation, consider what it would be like for you and the citizens, choose your location, climate, and terrain. So that's actually really, really fun, a fun and engaging activity. Again, if I was doing a formal history curriculum and wanted to include, like take the time to actually do all the printouts and everything, this would be a wonderful option. They have a let's debate, so centralized government versus state government, science research. So this is a wonderful, especially like middle school level, I would say an incredibly rich and engaging interactive. So they have the art of fireworks, I should say, the language of the tribes, and then it gets into the Latin and then meaning, so vocabulary, lessons of war. We'll flip through a couple chapters here really quick. But as you can tell, there's a ton of activities on here, which is going to make it extremely engaging. Which again, I really, really do enjoy this. I just know that if I think practically and not get caught up in a pretty printout, we won't actually do the printout because I know my little ones, and it's just not something that they would do yet anyway. So don't hold me to that because we might change our mind in a couple years and go back and do this as a formal curriculum where we all do all the activities and everything. But this is an option. So it's 198 pages. So it's a 198 page printout full of, again, all kinds of wonderful activities for you to do as an option if you do want to make this into a formal hands-on history curriculum. I did want to share another thing that we are doing apart from doing these as read alouds. One of my favorite things to do for history is the Heroes of History books. I've shared these a couple times on my channel. My kids love these. They're very quick and easy read. Like we did the Davy Crockett one in just probably 3 or 4 days with only reading some in the evening. So they're very easy reads, but this also makes the history come alive for kids as well as any of these Heroes of History books. I love these, and I highly recommend starting considering, you know, collecting these, you can probably find them thrifted occasionally. You can buy them on eBay or Mercari if you don't want to buy them new, but they're just really, really valuable resources when it comes to learning about history. Again, it's making it come to life. It's not in a textbook form. One of my favorite ways of doing history this way is you're not just learning about Davy Crockett himself, you're learning about the time period in which he lived, what it was like living back then, what were the Indian tribes like everything you could imagine about that time period is in here. So it's not in a textbook where you're going to read maybe half a page about Davy Crockett and then another half a page about the time in which he lived. You're really diving into his world, and so you're really becoming fluent and becoming very well versed in the time period. Same with like George Washington and any other like autobiography type books. I grew up reading these books as well, but I also grew up doing a lot of my history from doing books, because it really does create in your mind a picture of really what it was like for these people living in that time. So I love these. Another option, if you have young kids, probably 1st through 3rd grade, this my mom gave to me, but it was also thrifted. It's A Child's History of the Life of George Washington. This is also another great option, but this is told in 1-syllable words. So this is wonderful if you are wanting a standalone type history curriculum. Now this is an actual like reading book. It's not going to be the engaging interactive thing like the Tuttle twins, but it is still also beautifully done, because this is something that your 1st and 2nd grader, not 1st and 2nd, probably 2nd to 3rd grade can read by themselves, because it's all 1-syllable words, which then you can kind of send them with a reading assignment, and then they can report back what they've learned. So A Child's History of Life of George Washington, told in 1-syllable words. I have a couple of these, but this is the one that I'm gonna pull out probably this fall if we end up doing more read alouds. But honestly, between the Tuttle twins and the Heroes of History, I probably won't need to. Another one of my all-time favorite series is the Hero Tales. I have shared these on my channel before, but if you're wanting not just history stories, not just great for history, but incredible for character building. So we have Obedience. Let me show you a little bit. This is the one that we're on. We've done the first couple of models here, but so you're going to learn about William Bradford, Brother Andrew, George Washington Carver, Billy Graham, Betty Green, Clarence Jones, and then, oh, of course, and then St. Patrick. So this is actually a really good timing for in March here. St. Patrick, the missionary to Ireland. So that's going to be actually really fun. I might actually put this out on my table so I remember to do this one with the kiddos, because that's going to be a really fun read. Well guys, thank you so much for joining me for a look and a flip through at America's history from 1776 to 1791. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really excited to start reading this to my kiddos. I will have a link down below in case you are interested in taking a look at it. But yeah, I'm excited about it. But with all that being said, thank you guys again for being here and for watching today's video. And until my next one, you guys have a great day, whatever you're doing, and God bless. Bye.